everyone, MeltingMan234 here, and welcome to another episode of Forgotten Media, where I dig up some stuff you may or may not have heard of. Today we'll be looking at one of the stupidest ideas for a TV show known as Caveman, a drama comedy show created by Joe Lawson and premiered on ABC on October 2nd, 2007. The show was inspired by the Geico commercials back then where they had a caveman character who was grown to be an intelligent living being in the modern times, and is offended by their description of the Geico website saying that it's so easy, a caveman can do it. Then the character became a mascot for a while along with other characters like the gecko, the stack of money with eyes, and it seems like the pig that goes wee wee all the way home was starting to become a mascot too. Well anyway, when the Geico Caveman commercials were on, someone said, "Hey, let's take the sight gag we used in our commercials and make it into a TV show, thus starting Caveman, a show about intelligent cavemen living in the modern times of San Diego, California in a condo who are trying to fit in with the normal human population, even though there are times when they think they're being offensive on how they treat the caveman today." The show had three cavemen as their main characters. We have Joel, who is more of the straight man of the group, a man who's fitting into the modern life and has a job at a Norwegian furniture store that is a parody off of another store called IKEA. We have Andy, who is Joel's brother, who is a trained accountant, but he's more naive and childlike with his timid ways. But he can express some pretty violent road rage when he's behind the wheel. There's Nick, who is Joel and Andy's roommate, who is more of a lazy moocher, always staying at home and is too lazy to find a job. And because of this, Nick can be a real jerk at times. There's Maurice, who is another caveman, who is friends with Joel, Andy, and Nick, playing some squash with them, and driving around in his sports car looking for women. Unlike the other caveman, Maurice is actually played by one of the original Geico cavemen from the commercials. There's Kate, who is known for breaking up with relations in 6 months, and is dating Joel. In the pilot episode, she was revealed to be a homosexual, but they later removed this in the series, and she has some doubts if there's anything wrong with dating a caveman. She has a friend named Thorn, who shares a relationship with Andy. And then there's Kate's mother, Leslie, who is this ditzy woman who is not on good terms with her husband, and they tend to cheat on each other now and then. She's the landlord of the condo where the three cavemen live, and constantly confuses which caveman is who, as she thinks all cavemen are alike. She is pretty weird. Most of the time I keep thinking she's drunk or has no idea what she's talking about. There are some other different caveman characters, like one episode has a cave woman named Heather, there's a cave boy, cavemen who shave off all their hair, which they call them shavers, and other types of cavemen that live in the modern times. So how did these cavemen not evolve into normal humans? Did they step into some kind of toxic chemicals in the BC, preventing them to evolve into normal-looking humans, but have their minds evolve later on? I don't know, I never did understand that concept of the show. When the series was in development, the show was originally going to take place in Newport News, Virginia. Then they changed it to Atlanta, Georgia, where they filmed the pilot episode, and they soon changed it to San Diego, California for the series. The show had some episodes, like one episode has Nick getting a job as a substitute teacher, but is offended by the fact that their mascot is a stereotypical caveman. One episode has Andy trying out stand-up comedy, and another episode has Andy voting for better security, all because his Xbox 360 was stolen. The show was planned to start off with 13 episodes, but only 6 aired in the US, which led to the show's problems. Although the pilot episode was only seen in Australia, people considered it to be racist as they felt that the caveman characters were being portrayed as blacks or other races, which would lead to some major changes in the series. During its release, the ratings and the viewers were largely decreasing each time a new episode aired on the show. And as for the people who criticized it, the show was, and I quote, critically savage. Chicago Times listed it as one of the 25 worst shows ever, New York Post declared the show to be extinct on arrival, and TV Guide Network listed the show as number 22 on the 25 biggest blunders in TV. The show itself is pretty boring with its dull characters, and it's very forgettable. Who thought it was a good idea to take a sight gag that was used to advertise car insurance and then make a TV show out of the character? Sounds pretty stupid if you ask me. Just like with Out of Jimmy's Head, Caveman was another show that was affected by the Writers Guild of America strike, putting the show on hiatus, and later canceling the series before the strike ended. And with that said, Caveman was cancelled on November 13th, 2007, and was never seen again. Due to its short life, the series never got a DVD release. In fact, after the series was cancelled, Geico made a commercial making fun of the Caveman show.
Go ahead and say that.
Huh. A TV show. About us.
What was the deal with that makeup?
Exactly. Why not just use real cavemen?
Well, I thought their diction was good. You could hear everything they were saying. At least they didn't say, "It's so easy,
Yeah. At least there's that.
And to think the person who created the Caveman show used to be a writer on the Geico Caveman commercials, and now this commercial comes out to say, "I told you so." Oh, the irony. Although only 6 episodes aired in the US, the pilot and episode 9 were seen in Australia, while the rest remained unaired. Either this meant that the unaired episodes didn't air in the US, and only in other regions like London or Australia, or maybe it's because the unaired episodes never aired at all. At one point, it was stated by IMDb that the series' unaired episodes would air on television on February 13th, 2008. Well, that day came, the episodes never aired, and it was never mentioned, so it could have been just a rumor back then. As for the internet, all the episodes that aired on TV can be found on YouTube. Even some of the unaired episodes can be found there, so that's pretty interesting. In closing, Caveman was a poor idea in making a series of commercials into a TV sitcom. I'll consider the show to be mixed opinion, because there are several people that actually like the show, while others like myself see it as a big flop. But hey, making a sitcom off the Geico Caveman commercials is better than having some guy dressed up as Adolf Hitler let him have his own TV show. And yes, that show is real. Want to know how much that one sucked? You're gonna find out next time. Well, that wraps up this episode of Forgotten Media. So this is Melting Man 234 signing out.